sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanya. Same if this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn on your notification so you are notified each time I upload. And please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a massive shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. I am truly grateful. You all are super sweet. Thank you all so much. So today we'll be talking something very important. And it's that, when I saw this video at first, what I said is this is a Hispanic, white, Asian wannabe. Because he doesn't see himself as a black person. He sees himself as a white person. That kind of people that are way, way, way better than every other person, because that is what he is saying. I mean, he came to say that black people, he needs to, exempt himself from black people because black people are horrible. Black people have done this to him. Black people have done that to him. Like when he was in school, he was bullied by black people. And the people he kept meeting while he was in school were black people. People that always want to go stealing with him. People, they only want him for his grade. They only act when black people want to talk to him, only when there is probably a test in class and they want to get ask him answer, black people want him to give them answers so they can write, and after that they are just gonna not want to talk to him, not want to be in his space and the rest of it. I mean, he says so many horrible things because I feel like that this man cannot be a black person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, the way he was putting himself, he puts himself as someone that is way, way, way better than every other person, right? And for that, that kind of stereotypical kind of this thing like white people do to us, that was exactly what he is doing and saying. Black people are this, black people are that. I don't want to be in their space. They don't I am very cool with white people. I am very cool with Asians. I'm cool with Hispanics. It's only black people that I am not cool. Bro, this is not our problem. Stop calling black people. If you have a problem, go see a therapist. Let them fix you up than coming here to blame the whole entire community. If you know the people that bully you, go get them, find them, and talk to them. Not coming to generalize the entire black community for what they don't even know anything about. Stay glued to the screen. I am just rolling this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. And I absolutely want to read all your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. And straight up, I am rolling the...
Is it bad that I stem away from black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to provide is extremely valid, at least to me. So the reason why I stem away from people of my own race is because they've always treated me so horribly growing up, and they made me feel like that I don't belong. Literally in school, I was always made fun of by black people for some reason. I was the target. Whether if you were white, Latin, Hispanic, Native American, Asian, it did not matter. Everyone of every race has welcomed me and made me feel like I was a part of them. They made me feel comfortable. They never had a problem with me. But with black people, I was always made fun of. I was turned down. I just never felt like I was a part of them. In school, the only time that they were ever nice to me was when they wanted to get answers from me whenever we were doing schoolwork or a test, just so that they can get a good grade on their assignment. Now, me being the nice, shy kid trying to get out of my bubble, and they just never wanted anything to do with me. So in other words, they would use me and take advantage of me just to get a good grade for themselves, but never wanted anything to do with me outside of the classroom. Black people always made fun of me for hanging out with white kids. Black people always made fun of me for hanging out with the Latin and Hispanic kids. Black people always made fun of me for hanging out with the Asian. Black people always made fun of me for hanging out with goth and emo kids. Literally anybody of any race that I was hanging out with besides black, I was pushed down for. And to this day, I only have 3 black friends. There was also a point in time where I did make some quote unquote friends who were also black. And every single time that they wanted to hang out, they usually wanted to hang out to go to the stores and steal something. Now me, bitch, I'm not about that life. I obey the law. I told them, no, I don't do stuff like that. That's not right. And guess what? I got pushed down for that. And there was also a time where I was walking home from dance practice, and there were these 2 tall black guys who ran up to me, pointed a gun at me, and stole everything that I had. Out in the open, cars were passing by, everything. Nobody stopped to look. Nobody stopped to help me. They stole my wallet, which only had my high school ID in there. They stole the money that I had just gotten paid that night because I used to perform at quinceañeras in schools and stuff like that, so we get paid for that. And they stole my purple DGK hat. Man, that was one of my favorite hats too. So ever since then, it just ruined it for me. Black people even make fun of me for the way that I speak to this day. They always make fun of me by saying, Devontae, stop trying to act white, stop trying to sound white. I just like to pronunciate my words, I enunciate my words, and speak in complete sentences, not fragments. And I'm smart because I like to learn new things and I ask questions. I would rather for me to be real and have nobody like me than to pretend to be someone that I'm not just to get people to like me until they find out exactly who I am. But yeah, that's what I've gone through and that's how I felt all these years. What a crazy world we live in. Bad that I stem away from black people. And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to
start gang here. Well, you definitely ain't gonna mess with us after watching this video, but could it possibly be, and I want to be very respectful, that the blue contacts and the S-curl possibly scared them? Now that we got the shade out of the way, let me say something. The black community is not responsible for the fact that you were bullied and or ridiculed. Nor is the black community responsible for the fact that you never felt accepted. Nor is the black community responsible for the fact that you choose to disassociate from your blackness. Nor is the black community responsible for the fact that you don't feel attractive and that you don't like who you are on the outside. Y'all need to seek professional help or seek therapists to help y'all cope with y'all childhood traumas. The black community is not the burden to bear based off some shit that you went through in your childhood. And the entire video was anti-black for me, especially when you made that comment and then you started giggling as if you were in a room with your white counterparts.
I'm really tired of y'all trying to make it seem like black people are bullies because y'all personalities suck. At this point, it's giving delusional. Roll a clip.
Bad that I stem away from black people.
You laughing real hard, but I actually think black people stay away from you. And I knew that as soon as I saw them bright blue contacts in your eyes trying to be somebody you're not. But let's continue.
I feel like the reasons that I'm about to provide is extremely valid, at least to me. So the reason why I stem away from people of my own race is because they've always treated me so horribly growing up, and they made me feel like that I don't belong. Literally in school, I was always made fun of by black people for some reason. I was the target. Whether if you were white, Latin, Hispanic, Native American, Asian, it did not matter. Everyone of every race has welcomed me and made me feel like I was a part of them. They made me feel comfortable. They never had a problem with me. But with black people, I was always made fun of. I was turned down. I just never felt like I was a part of them. In school, the only time that they were ever nice to me was when they wanted to get answers from me whenever we were doing schoolwork or a test, just so that they can get a good grade on their assignment. Now,
Well, all those other communities probably welcome you because you're trying so hard to be one of them. Duh. And I'm going to stop you right there. People using you for good grades has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you're black and they're black, and everything to do with the fact that they wanted a good grade. But I also don't believe it. I think that was your last-ditch effort to try to make black people seem like they're unintelligent. Yeah.
people always made fun of me for hanging out with goth and emo kids. Literally anybody of any race that I was hanging out with besides black, I was pushed down for. And to this day, I only have like 3 black friends. There was also a point in time where I did make some quote unquote friends who were also black. And every single time that they wanted to hang out, they usually wanted to hang out to go to the stores and steal something. Now me, bitch, I'm not about that life. I obey the law.
Again, story seems very unrealistic. If you're such a law-abiding citizen, then what's the chances that you're gonna run into a group of kids, black people, as you say, who are stealing every day? You wouldn't be in the same spaces as them. Black kids are in every space. And I also just want to name that black people are also goth and emo. So again, your story's just not mathing, buddy. You're trying to criminalize black people in order to mask the fact that black kids just didn't want to hang out with you because you're you. What? He then also said that people used to make fun of him because he was just so intelligent, and it wasn't his fault that he was so smart. But let's rewind real quick.
The reasons that I'm about to provide is extremely valid.
I think what you meant to say is the reasons you're about to provide are extremely valid because there's more than one reason, you know, plural. But you know us colored folks are just hating on you so hard because you're just so smart and we don't have any form of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Because we just can't do it like you. Let's normalize taking accountability for our personality flaws and not trying to blame black people because they didn't want to be around you. I mean, honestly, enough is enough.
Pronunciate my words, I enunciate my words, and speak in complete sentences, not fragments.
I can't imagine not liking black people as a whole because a bunch of 8-year-olds called me white girl in 3rd grade because I knew how to code switch at an early age. Help is needed. Really bad. Help Help is needed. Also, those blue contacts gave it away.
And I feel like the reasons that
I'm not about to coddle this person and say, oh, well, you know, your experiences are valid. He knows his experiences are valid. He knows exactly what he was doing when he was coming on this internet to make this video. Okay, because let me tell you something. What I do is observe. I looked at those comments, and in those comments, there are other Black people saying, hey, I had the same shared experience, but you know what? I grew up, I healed whatever I had to heal. I made friends. I love my community. And there are people that are like-minded that are like you. But in his responses back, he's saying, oh no, y'all got to get it together. Y'all got to get it together. And it's like me, 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 me. This video was not made out of solution seeking or to share my experiences and to hope that the generations up under us are different and that they have a different experience within the community, because the community does have a problem that we need to address, and that problem stems from the same thing that he's upholding. It stems from white supremacy. A lot of the cognitive dissonance within the community, a lot of self-hate within the community stems from white supremacy, but he's not addressing that. And the last thing that I'm gonna say before I go ahead and wrap this up, outside of this is what a potential trauma bond looks like on the internet, because there is no solution ever wanting to be had. What this is fucked up when you think about the fact that he came on here and said, hey, I got like 3 black friends. Like, your 3 friends are not enough. That should tell you something about this person's mindset. Because if I was one of your 3 friends and I logged on thinking, like, I'm scrolling through and I saw my friend say things like that about me, because you're generalizing the entire community, I wouldn't feel like I was enough. And that friendship would be dead, period.
Is it bad that I stem away from Black people?
Coming from a fellow Oreo, a double stuffed Oreo, I might add, I promise you, your rejection of your own people is rooted in deep internalized white supremacy. So I was raised in like a suburban rural area with only white people from the age of birth till about 16. Then moved to the city where I went to high school with only Black people for 2 years. When you are a Black kid that is raised only around white people, the amount of internalized self-hatred that you absorb unknowingly is shocking. And again, I don't know if this person was raised around all white people. I have no idea. And then what happens when you finally go around other Black people, all of those things and mannerisms that you've internalized from your environment tends to come out, and you might not realize it. Also, I think what happens when we're whitewashed is our voice, how we style, how we just move around the world can come off as a threat to Black people who have only been around other Black people. And this is where I tend to lose people, but I'm going to try to explain it anyway. I think that stems from slavery, when some Black folk was selling out other Black folk. And so I think it creates this fight or flight, this what the fuck is wrong with you, this can I trust you? And I don't blame our people, I blame white supremacy. And trust me, when people think that you're an Oreo, they not very nice. I called myself one time trying to be stylish. I put on a honey blonde wig. Child, you can't be wearing honey blonde wigs and sound like a white girl. And yes, it's awful feeling ostracized by your own people, but you have to understand where that comes from. And some people just won't like you, but that doesn't mean that you just write off your whole race. There are weird, quirky, nerdy Black people who aren't problematic. There are Oreo Black people who are not problematic. I just really feel like we don't understand how insidious white supremacy is, and that if you grow up in predominantly white spaces, the amount of work that you need to do to have self-love and to have love for your people. I see a lot of pain in this individual, a lot of pain, and I hope that they find their way out of it and do that internal work, because this not the way, honey.
Isn't it bad that I stem away from Black people? And
I just came back from the gym, so forgive me, but you just sat up here and associated Black people with stealing, bullying, and all of that because of a few interactions with Black people, and you're wondering why Black people don't like you. It's because you're anti-Black. Why do y'all do this every time? And plus, like, no shade, when I say that Black people who wear blue eye contacts or color eye contacts, you gotta vet them. Like, there are some who aren't like on that type of time, but a lot of you are. And thank you for being the proof. You gotta watch the ones who wanna look like White Walkers. Just putting that out there.
From Black people. And I feel like the reason some of I first want to start off by saying that I'm sorry that this was your experience as a kid, but I do want to point out that this is not unique to being Black. In middle school, I've seen white kids that hung out with majority Black people, and they were bullied by other white people. I had Asian friends that hung out with white and Black people and no other Asians, and other Asians talked about them. I was the Black kid that didn't hang out with a lot of Black kids. And I also got picked on. I also got bullied for being different, for dressing different, hanging out with a different group of people, for listening to different type of music, just for being different. But I think as we get older, we realize that Black people aren't a monolith. We slowly start to realize that there's uniqueness of being Black, but there's no monolithic experience, maybe I would say besides oppression, about being Black. Because culturally, a lot of Black people are different. We listen to different music, we eat different foods, we behave different. There's nothing monolithic about being Black. Nothing. So as we get older and we start to unpack our implicit biases about other Black people, we start to unlearn colorism and anti-Blackness. And you will notice that you aren't being bullied for being different. You'll find your own tribe of Black people. Right now, today, I still listen to that, some Black people call white people music. But I found my set of people that I don't have to worry about being judged for being different. All Black people are not the same. So if your friends, I don't know how you phrase it in the video, your friends that happen to be Black, if they are calling you when they only want to commit crimes, maybe you should be doing some self-searching and figuring out, why do you attract those type of Black people? Because there's millions of Black people in this country that are amazing people. The anti-Blackness in your video is so loud. And I'm wondering if now that you're older, now that you're out of high school, maybe out of college, in your late 20s or however old you are, I'm wondering if you're still rooted in anti-Blackness. And that's why you haven't found your tribe of Black people.
Is it bad that I stem away from Black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to...
Yes, and I don't want to chuckle, but like if you've ever heard that thing about blue contacts, then like I'm chuckling. I can definitely relate to feelings of being bullied, or not feelings of being bullied, of actually being bullied for certain interests, not fitting in with peers, and can someone understand how that would create this feeling related to like a cultural aspect or when it's your own race and things like that? I feel like the problem with all of these videos is people who are on this outside act as though they were just pushed there and that they didn't place themselves there. You don't have a lot of Black friends because you don't want other Black friends, because you don't like Black people. And we can tell from this video because you view yourself as superior to most Black people. Because why in this video are you using specifically like stereotypes of Black people? Instances, negative instances of, I think at max 5 Black people, as then proof that all Black people are like as a collective group that you should stem away from, as if stealing, as if being mean to people, using people in high school is something that doesn't happen in other races. Why? I just don't understand in these videos why there is this judgment of Black people more than other races. Because if you were such a people pleaser, no white people used you, none of the Asian students used you, none of the Hispanic students used you. Like, it doesn't really make sense. But the thing about it is, if you have these feelings towards Black people, no wonder they wouldn't want to hang out with you. Why the fuck would they want to be around you if you think this way? Like, it's very clear.
Is it bad that I stem away from Black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to...
Hey, Devontae, I want to get straight to the point. I think you need to go to therapy and unpack some of this unresolved trauma that you have regarding Black people. Because honestly, the examples that you gave, although they sound very stereotypical, kind of manufactured, if they are true, it seems like you're just around shitty people. who happen to be Black. I just find it interesting, since you don't hang around Black people, like you said, that you've met so many shitty Black people. And just using common sense and understanding that everything is a numbers game, considering that you hang out with, well, every other race outside of Black people, I highly doubt that you haven't come across shitty people of other races. The question now becomes, why are you not holding that against other races and only holding it against Black people? Again, I think the answer is therapy.
Feel like that I don't belong. Literally in school, I was always made fun of by Black people for some reason.
You know what the gag is? You want to know what the real gag is? So was I. So is literally every Black person alive. All Black people, I know it's crazy. All Black people were bullied by Black people because it's something called fucking proximity. The majority of us live in tight-knit, close communities where our neighbors, the children that we go to school with, the people that we see on the street are fellow Black people. Even if you don't live in those types of neighborhoods, there's like a community of sorts, like a church, for example, in which your family is members of, that you will like be around majority Black people. We've all been bullied by Black people. That's like not a good enough reason to be like, oh, I don't hang out with Black people. The majority of us just kind of like move on for our lives and like find other Black people who intersect with our identities and interests, i.e. like being a Black queer person or a Black disabled person, or a Black person with a particular interest in, I don't know, like metal or like fucking like hardcore music. There's tons of communities of us. There's like pluralities in Blackness. And to get up here and just be like, I take a step away back from people of my own race is weird. It's weird and it's pandering and it's lame. It's very lame. It's very lame. And you deserve all the heat that you get right now. I'm like, I don't know how we rehabilitate the raccoons, but like, I'm not for it.
Isn't it bad that I stem away from Black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm
Hey, gorgeous, how you doing? Well, the first Black person you fell out of touch with is yourself. That's why on the outside, that's the reflection that you see. While I want to invalidate your experiences, because I understand that we all are different people, and we all tolerate different things, and we all don't tolerate certain things. The Black community didn't do anything to you. You had experiences that you need to heal from, or that you may have not healed from, based off of what you just said. See, I had this phase in my life where I wanted to be white. I thought I did. I had my little skater boy cut. I skated. I hung out with the white folks. I thought I was white. There was actually a point in my life where I only dated white people. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror and did away with the aesthetic that helped create my illusion of whiteness that I finally fell in love with me. The Black community just reminds you of who you are.
Is it bad that I stem away from Black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to...
Hi. I'm actually not against you, babe. I think it's perfectly fine to dislike someone or stay away from someone based on their race, their sexuality, their gender. And I am going to try to make it through this being serious, because as long as you can stand on it, stand on it. You don't like Black people? Just say, I don't like Black people. I think the issue comes into play where you try to rationalize it, or where you try to tell us these life stories and these anecdotal experiences and and it's just like, babe, just say you don't fuck with N-words. We don't care. Like, we can tell, you know what I mean? And it's no shade. Some of the worst people I've ever encountered, the majority have been African Americans. And like, babe, all my ops are colored, and that's okay. It just is what it is. I don't have to explain that. I don't really give a damn, you know, if you like me, if you don't, if you care, if I hang out with you, if I don't. But I can tell you do, and I can tell you want community and you want to participate in the African American reindeer games. And I think you need to get past that. You need to join us on the real side where we're like, I don't want the chitlins and the pork ribs. Until you get to that point in your life, Miss Ma'am, you're always gonna feel like the odd man out. You need to be able to walk by Trevante Roads and not look twice. Are you there yet? I don't think you are. I don't actually think that you really dislike the American Negro. I don't think you do. You're not me. You're not Candace Owens. Don't make no more content like this, girl. You're only hurting yourself.
And babe, I know how they are. I know what it's like being one of 5 black kids in a predominantly white area. They're wondering why you're going over here. They're wondering why you talk like that. I don't know. Everything that they say doesn't happen. And we know it does. You know what I mean? I know how it feels to be called an African booty scratcher and da-da-da and an FAG and how they bully feminine gay people. I get it. And it happened and that's your experience. And now that's for you to get over with. But to just be like, well, this is why, it's just like, girl, do we really care? Do we want to just move on and be sexy? The majority of the people that follow me on here have the same skin as me, babe. Clearly I'm doing something right. You know, the majority of people responding to you are black, showing you empathy and kindness. And I just want you to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Fuck them. And when you get to that point, babe, then you won't even want to sit with me. And I want that for you.
Is it bad that I stem away from black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to...
Yes, it is very bad that you stem away from black people. Having gone to a city school, a county school, a wealthy school, and a country school, I've been able to see how self-reflect on how I've acted and how other black people have acted in situations in these different areas. In the Midwest or St. Louis, you fall into a couple buckets. You fall into the ones that either grew up in the country and you kind of blend around the white kids. You fall into the city kids or the county brownies. I fell into actually all 3 of those categories with how much I moved. Sometimes you had these model black children that were just like, you know, the straight A students and, you know, didn't get into trouble and said yes, massa, whenever they fucking wanted their teachers to, you know, love them a little bit more. Then you had on the flip side, the same good students, but outspoken, the ones that you just knew were going to be the political leaders, but they were always the troublemakers because they had a mouth on them. Don't act like them. Black women or black men with a mouth on them? Oh. Then you had everyone else, average, because I'm not going to go deeper than that. So that group of kids that were those model straight A students where your teacher's sitting here like saying, why don't you act more like, let's say, Anthony? Anthony's a black kid who comes to school every day with a smile on his face and listens to us and doesn't cause any trouble. Now ask yourself, were you that model citizen? When it comes to feeling victimized and bullied, and this is something I had to understand in these situations, like why am I getting made fun of for the way I talk or the way I present myself or the way I'm doing this? It's not that. Blindly allowing white supremacy to use you as a pawn against your own people. Just reflect on situations where you could have stepped up and say, wait. That's not right. Just because I did this doesn't mean that everyone else needs to do that or that makes everyone else incorrect. Because then you're just an Uncle Ruckus or Tom or a Candace Owens or that Mead kid or whatever the heck. What I'm saying is you do need to actually hang out and gravitate towards more black people because they'll tell you about yourself and they'll help you out of genuine love and care. They'll tell you they got you fucked up and move on, but that's a learning experience you'll need for yourself too. Grow up.
Is it bad that I stem away from black people? And I feel like the reasons that I'm about to...
Now, cause the thing that got me crying is like, for one, you can tell when a whitewashed nigga is lying. Like, obviously, it's the difference between a black person who's actually talking about their experience with the black community or black people in their school bullying them because their interest, all this, all that. And it's different between the whitewashed niggas who lie. Because whitewashed niggas, the first thing they do is always try to lie about why exactly they're bullied for. Oh, yeah, I got bullied. Like, they might not even have been bullied at all. Black people just probably ain't like them. But, yeah, oh, they used to like me because I'm smart and spoke proper English. Whitewashed niggas say the exact same thing all the time to try to make themselves feel better. Because niggas ain't want to hang out with them because it was weird. Oh, yeah, they didn't want to hang out with me because I was smart, because I spoke proper English, that. You did not spoke proper English. They bully you because you spoke the dialect of a white person. Like, that's the thing y'all fail to understand. Y'all keep thinking, oh, because white people speak this dialect, this is proper English. That's not proper English. It's non-standard English, just like Eve is non-standard English. Y'all just hold it to a higher standard because white people speak that type of dialect. But, yeah, the thing that had me geeking is when he said every black person he meet, all they want to do is steal all day. All he want to do is steal. First of all, what type of devious ass circle that you associate yourself with where every nigga you meet wants to steal all day? Like, if you're such a good person, how you found yourself in that type of circle? Like that's not a common behavior from the black community. That's not a common behavior to want to steal every day. Like, yeah, it's niggas who steal. There's white people. There's white people who steal. But still every day, not do nothing but still every day. If you say they ain't want to do nothing, play 2K every day, I believe you. But to say they ain't want to do nothing but steal all every day, like, be serious. Like, be serious. If you're such a good person, you wouldn't even be in a circle or be in the same places as these people to even meet them in the first place. Like,
bad that I stem away from black people.
Do y'all not have a group chat? Do you guys not have a place where you could vent these kind of feelings? Because me as a light-skinned black person, and I only point out the fact that I'm light-skinned for, visual effect, never have I ever thought to get on the internet and talk about why I feel like black people don't like me. First of all, I don't even have that thought because I am black people and I know my people love me. But it's just, I just don't understand what do y'all get out of posting stuff like this? Do you want to build a community with a bunch of other people who failed to get therapy for their childhood traumas? Because you have 7.4 million followers, and how you don't have a sponsorship to BetterHelp by now, find somebody to talk to, because all of the things that you're feeling right now are unresolved childhood traumas. Be walking around as a grown-ass adult willingly disliking your own race of people is very fucking weird. And I don't care if you're Asian, if you're Jamaican, I don't care if you're white, Spanish. To have self-hate is a really deep issue, and y'all need therapy. Seriously. And then to say, like, the examples you gave of the black people who wanted to hang out with you were the ones who were stealing, and the ones who were trying to rob you. It's what? As a girl who grew up in the ghetto all my life, I don't care what picture you showed me at what age category you were in, you look like a snitch. Why would anybody ever want to hang out with you in that manner? You give snitch. You give when the pressure is hot. I'm telling on everybody, because you really just sold out your whole race of people for what? A talking point? Like, get the fuck.
Isn't it bad that I stem away from black people?
The guy repeats exactly what would be on a 2 black for the white kids, 2 white for the black kids bingo card. The thing is like, these people are always like, black people always unfairly characterize us based on stereotypes. Yet you do the exact same fucking thing. Throughout that entire video, that guy regurgitated like 4chan level racism. Entire time he was like, sorry you blackies like to steal, but I like to dance. Sorry, I like to learn and you guys don't even know how to say words right. It's not 2 black for the white kids, 2 white for the black kids. It's 2 anti-black for the black kids and 2 black for the Aryan Brotherhood. Genuine whitest shit you do is harbor resentment towards all black people due to your instances regarding specific individuals. Dude, you're like Jurassic, you're geriatric. You need to find a black therapist and figure that shit out.
Is it bad that I stem away from black people?
Yes, it is. And while your experience sucks, and it sucks to be bullied, and I was bullied for similar things, it's not okay to sit up and blame the whole black community for what happened to you, because the entire black community is not who bullied you. It reminds me of like when other gays are like, oh, I don't have any gay friends because all gays are messy. It's like, okay, do you want like a cookie or something? At the end of the day, no matter how well put together you are, no matter how articulate you are, no matter how respectful you are, someone that wants to uphold white supremacist ideologies is always going to see you as less than. So you trying to stay away from black people or stay up under white people isn't doing you any favors.
Let me say this. So as somebody who was also ridiculed, made fun of, bullied, by the black community, my own community, for the way I talked, the way I dressed, what I was interested in, it never deterred me from wanting to be a part of my own community. In fact, it inspired me more to explore the traditional parts of Black culture that maybe I had not been privy to, prior to that. And I feel like there's this crossroads in every Oreo's life where they can either go the blue contacts route or they can go their own route and, become comfortable in their Blackness and realize that Blackness is not a monolith and be more comfortable in themselves and accept themselves, love themselves, blah, blah, blah. I just find it sad that, people buy what white supremacy is selling them. Like it's a major gotcha.
Answer is yes. Go watch that full video for context. You know how TikTok works. That video touched on a concept that I think is very interesting to me personally. The idea that I'm talking about is how somebody can have an extremely similar experience to me and fall on a completely different side of the spectrum, if you will. And when I say really similar, I pretty much mean word for word, bar for bar. Even though I've had all of those experiences, it never occurred to me to position myself outside of Blackness. Mind you, I'm not invalidating anybody's experience because although the human experience is a universal thing, it's also a very personal thing. But the issue that I have with that video is that the rhetoric that's used is pretty stereotypical. And it's the exact rhetoric that the communities that you align yourself with are so quick and gung-ho to run with when it comes to perpetuating anti-Blackness. Watching that video a couple of times, it's apparent that you have a lot of anti-Blackness, and realistically, you can't really address or dismantle that positioning yourself outside of the community. I've heard it a million times, Blackness isn't a monolith, but what I think you're coming across is the same thing that I address when it comes to anime nerds and weebs when they talk about how they were made fun of for watching anime. You were dealing with shitty kids. Kids can be shitty. It comes with the fact that kids are immature. Personally, I think to carry some of the ill will that you've gained through anecdotal experience in your younger days into adulthood is really dangerous. And that video and videos like it are the exact videos that people who want to uphold the systems of white supremacy used when they're trying to tokenize you. Sounds like there's genuinely a lot to unpack there. Now, I'm somebody who's very pro paying a guy to listen to you complain, so going to therapy. That video came so close to touching on some things that could be and should be talked about in the Black community, but it's so jarring hearing it for somebody who so openly places himself outside of the Black community. Again, I'm not invalidating anyone's experience. That's not my shtick. I just noticed that there may need to be a little bit of soul searching done because there definitely is some internalized anti-Blackness that needs to be addressed. You and I differ. Where our paths diverged is that the Black community has shown me tons and tons of love. And I'm sure you don't want to hear this from an anime account, but at the end of the day, we're Black first. Whether it be Black queers, Black nerds, Black capitalists, one of the communities that are always going to be treated as an other until we do our best to address and dismantle the systems that make it possible. And you firmly can't do that positioning yourself outside of the community. That's just the input from a Black nerd speaking to you as a fellow human. You're beautiful and I love you, and I wish the best for you moving forward.
Isn't it bad that I stem away from Black people?
Bad for you, great for us, okay? Because we are powerful people. We are beautiful people. We are so different. We are so lively. We are loving. We are just so many positive things that I can think about. We are trendsetters. There is, the list can go on. So if you step away, then that's great for us. Because we don't have to weed you out. You took yourself out. So, that's amazing. We don't have to Harriet Tubman your ass. We can enjoy the people who want to be here. The people who want to be amazing. The people that want to be smart, great, intelligent, beautiful humans. You are not that. And that's fine. And that's great, because when you can't step up to the plate, sometimes it's okay to say, you know what? I can't be all I can be. I'm going to step down. And okay, I respect that. Do you, boo? Do you?
I feel like the reasons that I'm about
I am just enjoying all the people that have stitched this video. And I hope he takes heed to what these people are saying.
So this is all I got from the stitches, and before we go, I am going to start by saying that the anti-Blackness is all over him. You all can see that, the way he googles white talking and his eye contact. I feel like this person does not even want to be in Black space. He doesn't want to be around Black people. He just wants to be around white people. And the fact that he also said that he was bullied. You see, I am not saying that he was not bullied or something, but I feel like this young man is lying to his followers and all that. Okay, let's assume you were bullied, right? The best you can do is try and get help. you need to speak to a therapist, all right? Get all the help you need. And then that is a way forward. But coming to generalize the entire Black community, I mean, it's something I really do not want to wrap my head around, and I think it's just like not a good thing for somebody to come out in such an open space to say something like this about Black people. And the one thing I noticed is that, I mean, everything he was saying about Black people, or all the things white people, like, you know, say about Black people are like, you know, that stereotypical kind of thing. And that I find a bit, like, not a bit, I find it offensive. And also, I feel like this man was just not bullied, but he's just looking for a way to, like, you know, sell it. You know, this kind of people that want to just sell out their community, this kind of person that just want to feel like, oh, yo, I am so white, like, you know, he has that white attitude. And like, you hear what he said, that he's been welcomed by every other people except Black people. How come, like, the entire Black people, like, nobody welcomed you? And if I were those friends that he said, like, the three of, like, he has only 3 friends out of Black community, that really says a lot. Black people, or like the people he has been meeting, might not actually be the problem. Problem might actually be him. I mean, him, like this kind of people that wants to tell you that they are very superior, I am more superior than you, like, you know, I got all the qualities and all that. You hear what he said about, you know, that they always want to use him for grades and all that. So he is calling Black people dumb, like unintelligent. So he is the most intelligent one that they always come around to, like, you know, get answers from. And when they're done, they just, like, you know, run away. And they always want to, like, do bad things with him, like, you know, when they want to, like, why is it that it's only like negative things that come? So see, I would like to you, this kind of person needs to be, like, you know, he needs to sit down and screen himself and screen, like, everything about himself, his attitude and all that. You all saw the blue lenses. It means, I mean, when I see people with that kind of, and the way he talks and all that, I feel like he just does not want to be Black. Like, you know, he wants something more like a white person, that kind of people that always say, I am way better than you. You are not up to my standard. Because for a full-grown adult, full-grown man to come out and say something like that, that is a nasty, I mean, you know, it's nasty. And let me tell you all something. Like, I am sure Black people, like, oh my goodness, did I tell you there are so many stitches to this video? The stitches are uncountable. And all I can do is to bring the ones that I can bring to you, because, like, I was like, oh my God, are you sure this thing can export? There are so many people that stitched to that video, like, telling him. So if you want to leave, Black people will not even notice that, like, you know, that there is nobody that wanted to, like, you know, identify as a Black person. I mean, it's our own advantage. So we have, like, you know, less problems to tackle and all of that, you know. So see, guys, you all go get your shit together and stop coming on the internet to blame Black people over everything. I mean, Asians are on Black people, Hispanics are on, like, every damn person, everybody, Black people, like, what? Give them break, give them break. They need break from you all white wannabe. Because when I looked at him, I was like, oh, this one is like Hispanic, white, wannabe, Black. Because I don't see how he's a Black person. This is where I am signing out. Thank you all so much for all the love and support. I absolutely want to read your comments. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.